If we try to run our unit test now, you'll see that our post item tests are now failing. And if we come down here and look at the error, you'll see that it's because we're now getting 401 unauthorized, where we're expecting a 200 OK. So similar to our postman request, we're going to need to update the test to ensure an admin user is being used. Firstly, let's make it so the first seed user is an admin. So this is as simple as going to our seed.js file and adding the role property to the first user and assigning it the value admin. With that done, we can now come over to our item test file and we'll add the auth token to the header of the post items request. So firstly, you want to make sure that you're importing seed users from the seed file. Then go down to the should create a new item test and we'll insert in the chain a set method down here, setting the authorization header and assigning it the value bearer seed users, and it'll be the first seed user and the token property. So let's now copy that line and we want to put this in the shouldn't create an item with invalid data test as well. With that done, let's go ahead and run our tests again. And this time we see that they all pass. There's a dimension that we've lost with these tests though. We're now not testing for what happens when the auth token isn't present. We're also not testing for what happens if the authorized user is not an admin. So to account for this, let's add two more tests to the post item suite. So for the first test, we'll call it, and this test will be called shouldn't create an item without authorization header. So we'll go ahead and assign an async function to that. In the body, we'll simply await request app. And we can chain a post items to that. And then we can expect a 401 unauthorized status. So that's all we'll need to do for that one. For the next test, we're going to call it again and name this one shouldn't create an item unless admin. Now, we need to run this test using a logged in but non-admin user. And that's fine because the second seed user is not an admin. However, we'll first have to log in the second user in this test here. So let's create a const res and we'll await request app. And we're going to post to the login route, which is users login, like that. So let's now chain a send, and we want to pass in the seed users, the second seed user, and passing in the object just like that will work because this object has the email and password as properties. Any additional data will just be discarded in the controller method. So finally we can expect a 200 status from this one. So with that, the non-admin seed user should now be logged in. So now we can await another request and this time we're going to post to the items endpoint and we're going to set the authorization header again So we can go set authorization. And the value of this one will be the header that we get from the response. So we can just go res headers authorization like that. Now finally, we can expect a 403 since the user is logged in, but it doesn't have permission. Now that test is complete, and we can be confident that a regular user can no longer create items. So let's go ahead and run that test, make sure it passes. So we can see that our tests are passing, and with that we've finished the video and we finished this module. So stick around and I'll see you in module number 5.